Hello, welcome to the L.S.D podcast. Today I'm joined with Lewis.
Hey, how's it going?
And Amanda again.
Hi.
David and Saul couldn't make it. David is sick and stuck in Montana, and Saul is either passed out on his couch or getting his dick sucked. We don't know. Coin flip.
It is truly the coin flip.
Oh my gosh.
It's either a very good night or a very bad night.
Easy.
Which one's which, honestly?
Either way, he's crying during both. Anyways, today's a very fun special episode. We're going to be talking about true crime cases.
Yay.
We are.
Yay! This is a probably good time to mention, how gory are your guys's?
Mine's not that bad.
Mine is a mix. It's not gory, but like, it's kind of fucked.
Mine's also fucked. If you're not comfortable with infant death, don't listen.
Oh yeah, we should probably put out like a huge trigger warning of like
Yeah, actually,
a
disclaimer.
whole lot of bad things.
Yeah, murder.
We're covering many topics of death.
Yeah. Some big ouchies.
Mine includes capitalism.
Now that's the scariest one of all.
Big trigger warning for capitalism.
I gotta pay $5 for this? Why you? I'm just a cashier.
More like a capitalist lapdog.
Oh my god.
Anyways, who wants to start?
I could probably start.
I can't. You want me to start or you start?
I could probably start.
Alright.
It's decent enough, but I don't think it's like the most interesting. It just has some, like, interesting parts at the end.
Okay.
So I had a couple different ones I could choose from, and one I've talked about many times, and it's probably one of the scariest things I've heard of, but I'm not talking about that one. So I wanted to save it for Saul, because the way Saul told me it, terrifying. I'm just going to talk about a man born in Reynolds, Georgia, in the 1940s. His name's Samuel Little.
Ooh, good name.
Yeah, he went by other names, such as Samuel McDowell. I think that was like just another name he used, probably to get work or something.
Yeah.
But he also went by the Stroke Killer.
What?
I don't know. And the Choke.
Oh my gosh.
This sounds like someone who killed people with autoerotic asphyxiation.
Sounds like he gave himself his own fan name. Call me
Oh my god.
Choke.
Call me the Stroke Killer.
Please.
Oh my god, put them together. He's the Choke and Stroke.
No.
Oh no.
That's gonna get into a little bit of his lore. But yeah, so he was born in Georgia in the 1940s. Very great time. He's
Debatable.
his mom was it was a terrible time. He was also black, so like even worse.
Oh, that's a double terrible time.
Yeah. But his mom he claimed was a prostitute. We have no evidence about it. But a little bit after his like birth, his grandmother took him, and they ended up living in Ohio for many years, up until I think his young adult life, like when he was like 16, 17. Yeah, a little bit after, like up to his early 20s. But he went to like elementary school, junior high, not like all that shit, and he had like disciplinary problems and shit. Like he had to go talk to like counselors and shit, and they have like accounts of him as early as then having sexual fantasies of strangling women.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
How old was he?
He was like 13, 14.
Oh my gosh.
And by the time he reached like 16, 17, they had found true crime magazines that showed pictures of women being choked that he probably used for God knows what.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he had a childhood, you know, terrible. By the time he was almost 20, he got actually a little before, probably 17, 18. He had ended up getting arrested in like Nebraska for breaking and entering. I don't know what the fuck he was doing in Nebraska.
What the heck?
Yeah, he was
What the hell?
He was just in Nebraska.
Well, obviously he was committing crimes.
Well,
Yeah.
why
He
not
just
just
went-
Ohio?
Well, he, you know, for the adventure.
The adventure. That's right.
Well, like most serial killers, commit, crimes close to home, but that's a mix-up going far away.
Yeah, even with the 50.
I mean, it is smarter on his part.
Yeah, actually.
And if he's reading true crime magazines, maybe he knows that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he might have learned that from the magazines.
Oh, he evolved.
He educated.
He went beyond.
The thinking man serial killer.
Yeah. But yeah, so he eventually like left Ohio and moved to Florida to live again with his mother around like his late 20s. And he spent the time working as an EMT, apparently a cemetery worker. And he got arrested a lot in many different states. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He was like using the strategy of leaving state to do crime, but he was just getting caught.
Yeah, like he just kept getting
He
caught.
was not
He was
good
just
at it.
bad at executing it. The plan was there. The plan was good. The execution, not it.
Yeah, he fucking terrible execute. He got caught for everything. Like, some of the crimes he got caught for was like just, driving while drunk. Fraud. I don't know what the fuck kind of
So
fraud
he
he was
just
doing.
dabbled in everything.
Yeah, he did everything. Shoplifting, solicitation, armed robbery, aggravated assault, and also rape.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
He really did dabble in everything.
Yeah, he was in everything. And he claimed he took up boxing while he was in prison for all this shit.
My goodness.
And in prison, he said he was a former prize fighter. I have no idea if he won or not. I hope as soon as he said that, the biggest dude just punched him straight in the face and he just went down. I hope.
That's wow.
But yeah, his first time in jail was in 1961. He got caught for breaking into a furniture store in Lorain. I don't know where Lorain is.
Huh. Lorain, Nebraska?
Probably.
Oh.
I don't know. Who breaks into a furniture store? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, Lorain, Illinois.
At this point, it just sounds like he was doing things to do them.
Yeah, he was. He got caught so many times before the like murder shit started happening. Before he even actually got arrested for murdering someone, he had been arrested 26 times in 11 states.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
And he apparently
Dear Lord.
he attacked government officials. What the fuck was he doing?
So what made him think he would get away with murder?
Well, I don't know, but in 1982 he went down to Mississippi and murdered someone named Melinda. Melinda
13th time's the charm.
Yeah, Melinda Rose Lepre. I guess she was French. I don't know.
Sounds like
She went missing in September, and then eventually, grand jury indicted him. But under investigation, like for that murder, he got extradited to Florida for another person he murdered the same month.
Oh.
He had spent the night with the chick before, so I think they assume like he like hooked up with her or like had a relationship of some kind. And because of all the like weird testimonies they got for both of those murders, he got acquitted on both charges.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it was great. But eventually he like moved to San Diego, and then
how does he have money for that?
I don't know. I guess it was the 80s, so you know.
I guess.
Yeah, he had money. Fucking Samuel Little, great man, many crimes. Boom, there we go. Back on track. So Samuel Little, he moved to San Diego in like 1984, mid to late fall, I think October, something like that. He gets arrested, right, for kidnapping, beating, and strangling a 22-year-old named Lori Barros, and she survived.
Like Rick James.
Yeah, like he went to fucking town in his car and beat the shit out of this lady. But she survived. You know, they arrested him for it. I don't know what the fuck they did, because 1 month later, they found him in the same exact place.
What?
Same
What
exact
the hell?
car, same exact situation.
Dude.
With another woman beaten and
Oh
strangled.
my god.
She was unconscious.
So not dead, just
Yeah.
knocked out. Okay.
Yeah, eventually, like, I don't know why they, like, looking at his, like, history, they didn't, like, say, you know, maybe we should hold him for a bit
Yeah.
before we, like, do any, like, you can do that. You can hold someone in prison while they're going to get their sentence and shit. It's not like he could explain his way out of that. You found him in his car beating the shit out of someone. No way out of that.
And they
Hold
were
him.
like, yeah, okay. He's fine. We can let him go.
You're free to go for now.
He's not dangerous.
I won't beat another woman. Thank you, officers. And he immediately went. But yeah. After, like, 3 years, it seems like he served a little bit more time than he like was given, but they don't really explain too much. But after like that, he got out of prison 1987. Did anything special happen that year? I don't know. But he went and moved out of San Diego, went to Las Vegas, and then there is no formal, like, report on what happened, but between, let's see, alright, so between the years of, like, 1987 and, like, 1990, like, 3 or something, he murdered 10 women in Los Angeles alone. Went on a spree of murders right after that.
Jeez.
And was arrested, fast forward, in fucking 2012
Wow.
in a homeless shelter in Louisville, Kentucky.
Jesus.
2012.
Yeah. So, the fact that, like, between 1987 and 2012, there's no record of anything that happened.
Oh my gosh.
They have no formal record on anything.
So he went on like a spree and then just got arrested and dropped off? Just...
Yeah, like, he figured out how to not get caught and just, like, dropped off the face of the earth, and murdered a shit ton of people. And then fast forward, 2012, he gets caught, extradited all the way to California. For out of everything, a narcotics charge.
Huh.
But the guy has DNA, and around the 1980s was when DNA testing was invented.
Yeah.
They found out that his DNA is involved with the murders of 3 women specifically that they had on record. Some chick named Carol Elford, in 1987. Someone named Guadalupe Apodaca. I don't fucking know how to read that. Also in 1987. And Audrey Everett in 1989. All in the LA County. So he got charged with all that shit in 2013, and it was a couple months after he got found in like September. So like in January of 2013, gets charged with everything, and to this day, they are still trying to figure out where everyone's bodies were and how many things he was involved with. They have, so far, they have 93 victims they're going through.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
60 have been confirmed.
Holy shit.
And I think they have a possibility of like 8 other people that might have been him.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like, they basically just use his DNA to hold stuff on all the shit he did. And they're still investigating all the stuff he said. But eventually in... Oh, not in. Like... Yeah, I guess. In like 2020, December 30th, he died. Couple months
Thank
ago.
God.
Oh, wow.
He died.
Jeez.
He was 80.
Was he in jail? Did he just, like,
Yeah, he
die
was in
jail?
prison.
Wow.
He died in California State Prison.
What was his sentence? Did he get, like, was it just, like, life in prison?
Yeah, he got life.
Wow.
He continued to insist that he was innocent.
What?
Up to the day of his verdict.
Wow.
And then once he got in, they DNA tested him and they started interrogating him on everything. And there's a giant list of names that like come up for his like list of shit.
Uh-huh.
There's like, I think a third maybe. A majority of the people he had murdered were black and Hispanic. And also, like, some of them had, like, nicknames for, like, that either he had come up with for them or that they had from, like, I think, like, stage names.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites was T-Money. I fucking, terribly sorry for T-Money. Great name. Wish he made it into, like, the big shit. But
Yeah.
he has provided a bunch of sketches. And there's even interviews on YouTube uploaded by the people who were investigating him, talking about some of the murders. And I just like to share some of the sketches. Some of them are alright.
Wait, he gave sketches of the victims?
Yeah. Like, you
Wow.
remembered what they looked like. But yeah, some of them are alright, and then some of them were like this. It's sending real quick.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh my.
It looks like one of Ringo Starr's MS Paint drawings.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This was one of the first people he apparently murdered. Her name was Mary.
Were they able to like actually find anything based off of this? Like, were they? Actually...
Yeah, they found 60 bodies.
Well, like, no, like did they find her body in specific? Do you know?
Yeah, they found her.
Wow. So they found Mary. Did the drawing help? Like, did she actually? I wonder.
I mean, I don't think so.
I wonder how accurate his memory was, or if like
I don't know. He got better. Like as time went on, he got better at the sketches.
So maybe he started out.
Imagine
with,
if
his first victim.
Yeah, like here's the last one.
I mean, imagine if you're always just drawing these people. Eventually, you're gonna figure it out. You know?
Yeah. There's the last one. That's all right.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
That first one, goddamn. What's going on? But yeah, I have a list of all of the places he murdered someone.
Oh,
and I'm gonna go through them real quick.
Oh boy.
So he murdered in Phoenix, Arizona, one woman. In Kendall, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana. These are all like each individual places that the bodies had been found. North Little Rock, Arkansas, Fort Myers in Florida, West Memphis, Arkansas, Tampa Bay in Florida. I've been to Tampa. I love that place. Unfortunate. Monroe, Louisiana, San Bernardino in California. I can't read that for some reason. I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Obviously a bunch in Los Angeles. Savannah, Georgia. Plant City, Florida. He got around in Florida. Prince George's County, Maryland. That's a place?
Oh, huh. He was all across the United States.
Gulfport, Mississippi. Pascagoula, Mississippi. Atlanta, Georgia. Las Vegas. Cincinnati, Ohio. Willowsby Hills, can't read that for my life, in Ohio. Macon, Georgia. I was born in Macon.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
You should be sorry.
I love The Walking Dead, okay? Fuck you. Dade County, Georgia. Granite City, Illinois. I don't know why that made me laugh. Homestead, Florida. Charleston, South Carolina. Knoxville, Tennessee. Houston, Texas. East St. Louis, Illinois. Miami, Florida.
Jeez, he just drove
Covington, Kentucky.
And
yeah,
committed crime.
Yeah,
all over the United. He's probably been to like every state. He was all over the place.
He's been everywhere. But yeah, those are all.
And it took him that
states.
long to catch him.
Yeah, they took forever to catch his ass.
That's like really interesting because like so a lot of serial killers have like their zone.
Yeah.
You know, they don't go stray far from it, but like his zone, it sounded like it started off with like Georgia, Florida, Alabama, so like that's already a huge zone. Like
yeah.
So first in the south, but then he went like north with Maryland and Ohio, a little bit in the Midwest with Illinois and like Tennessee, and then in like the California, Nevada area. That's like that's crazy.
Yeah, he got around everywhere. Like, I don't know how the fuck they just kept like letting him do shit before just putting him in prison forever.
Yeah, because he had a record.
Well,
he had
like a violent record. It wasn't even like he was doing petty crimes. Like he was beating people, and like, yeah, what the heck?
Well, I imagine it's like hard to like so like. Serial killers have like, you know, like their signature on like how they kill someone, and they like to do things a lot the same way. I imagine it's really hard to get like a strangle case in Ohio and be like, oh yeah, this is just like that same strangle case in fucking California.
Yeah, I mean that's true, especially when you're going state by state and the police centers don't communicate with each other like that. So They wouldn't be able
his-
to put together.
His MO was very generic. Like,
Yeah, did he even have
It
like a? Did he have like a certain type of people he went for?
yeah, he mostly went for black women,
Mm.
in their 20s and 30s.
Oh,
Oh, that also kind of explains a lot because like there's a concept of like less dead, and like a lot like people don't investigate certain
Yeah.
murders as much, you know, because they're not, and that
they
like
weren't.
minorities and women and sex workers,
Yeah.
those often are considered less dead, you know.
Yeah, I think especially like some of them were prostitutes, which links to like his apparent childhood with his mother and shit.
Yeah,
So
He was angry. He had mommy issues.
yeah, he had a lot.
It's always the ones with mommy
Mm-hmm.
issues, and they always go kill women that look like their mother, and it's kind of weird.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking awful. Like,
Okay.
fucking, it is insane how a dude like that, he was essentially, he wasn't, like, people say he wasn't very charismatic. Like, he wasn't handsome. He was, like, this, like, kind of sloppy looking, like, disheveled looking
Yeah.
black dude. And, like, he was very old by the time all these murders happened. Like his mugshots, all of them, he looks insane.
Yeah, he looks old and disheveled, and
Like, that's why a lot of people assume like he mostly went for either young women or prostitutes because like
Easier targets for him.
yeah,
By the time you're old like that, you probably aren't as strong as you would be when you're younger, so you'd have to pick weaker people to go after, especially his choice of strangling people or whatever.
yeah, he went to town just
What a
strangling.
loser, honestly.
Right. What a nerd.
Yeah, what a
What a
nerd.
loser. Someone old man who has mommy issues because he's never been able to work them out his entire life, goes and kills people weaker than him.
To be honest, like
Sad.
murder is very weird when it comes to like people's reasonings. It's
I do wonder. So like, I don't know if you guys know about Arthur Shawcross, but he was also an old man who liked to kill prostitutes,
yeah,
and a lot of his appeal was like, it wasn't so much an appeal. Like he wasn't very charismatic like this guy, but a lot of people would hear him talking. He's like, oh, that kind of reminds me of my grandpa, and I wonder if this guy had any of that appeal, you know, to
old
him.
man
that could have been
charm.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, they're just like, oh, he's just an old man. You know, what's he gonna do? And then he
Oh
strangles
my
him.
gosh, that's like
Yeah.
the older black woman that go call you baby. You're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I feel so safe, and she strangles you.
Yeah,
Isn't there a movie?
Yeah, it's like Ma
About-
or
yeah,
something.
Ma.
Yeah, Ma.
she- this
yeah.
nice-
And she cuts out like a guy's liver.
Nice older black
She-
woman. You feel safe around her. She's cool. She's nice, and then she murders you. Terrifying.
That movie is very
I've not watched that
interesting.
movie.
I like.
I'm scared of it.
Dude, spoilers, by the way. Can I give us a quick spoiler of how she kills one
Yeah.
person?
Go for it.
Because it fucking haunted me. She takes a dog's blood and injects it into a guy
God.
and chains him to a bed and just lets him die. That I'm like, oh, that's so
my
fucked
God.
up.
takes a what?
Dog blood and injects it into him and poisons his blood that way.
Oh, I thought it was like like literally just dog's blood.
Yeah, it is dog's blood.
Jesus.
And you just, yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
Anyways,
I've not seen that movie, but I've seen a bunch of the trailers, and the performance she puts on is great. But yeah,
oh yeah, she does a really good job.
yeah, that's Samuel Little being a murderer.
That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
That's crazy.
I just thought it was interesting. Like, you can go on YouTube and just look at like the stories of his confessions, just him talking about each one of them.
Did he sound like remorseful or at all? Like, did he like care, or was he just kind of
No.
like, okay, yeah, I did this.
Not really.
Dang.
I killed him.
Don't really expect someone like that. Like, he's kind of been messed up his entire life, so.
Yeah.
He in one of them, like in one of the like things, like the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite one. They ask him about the lady in like Little Rock that he murdered. Basically, like, he starts it off like, oh, I loved her. She was great. I forget her name. I think it was Ruth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But,
Someone like that doesn't care.
Yeah,
No,
like he
yeah.
does not. He really didn't give a fuck. Like it's nothing to him at that point. She was the one that like was doing fucking shoplifting with him.
Oh.
Oh,
And they did it to make money. That was one of the things. Like he apparently murdered her boyfriend and like eventually
And
just
took
like
her shopping?
no, he drove her out into the middle of nowhere and just strangled her to death
Oh
in a
my
cornfield.
gosh.
Oh no,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
he didn't. I think he strangled her to death in the middle of a road, then had to drag her into a cornfield because she was apparently too heavy.
Like,
Like
damn.
geez, disrespectful.
fucking, like that dude is fucked.
Yeah, that's scary. Those types of people are scary because they don't care. There's no. Those are like true
No
psychopaths.
remorse.
Yeah, he not only murdered her ex-boyfriend, but then just went to the middle of nowhere and then murdered her and then just threw her in a cornfield. Like, goddamn.
Jesus. That's Samuel Little. Goddamn.
It was good, you know.
Yeah.
Just a good start.
Interesting.
The murders
Oh, yeah.
weren't good though. For context,
No, the murders are not good.
murders were terrible. But yeah. I guess fuck.
All right. Yeah. All right. Y'all mind if I go next?
Go ahead.
Go for it.
All right. So, I'm going to be talking about the Order of the Solar Temple,
Oh hell
which
yeah.
it's a cult that ended with the mass ritual suicide of 74 people. And this cult, like, it's not popular and not a lot of people know about it. It's very secretive. And, like, so secretive, people didn't know their family members or their friends were in this cult till they found their burnt bodies
Oh
at
my
the crime
goodness.
scene. Yeah. It was very secretive, very hush-hush, and it was essentially sold as a fun little club for rich people.
I hate that.
And it was a rich people club, and they would play dress up as knights, and you know they had robes and everything, and they drink spiked tea that was spiked with hallucinogenics, and we'll get into all that. It's a lot of fun. They had a big right-wing influence also. One of the people that inspired one of the leaders was a guy named Origas, who was like a Nazi collaborator.
Oh my-
So you know that's fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But this was a cult though. They never killed anyone else. They were never malicious
Just
towards
themselves.
anyone else. Just themselves. So I guess that's good. But they attracted like these high level members of society, like conductors, even a watchmaker who like I believe his watches range from $8,000 to the $3 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the kind of people like that were in this cult. It's insane. And the people behind this cult were Luc Jouret and Joseph DeMambro. And it's very unusual to see a cult with co-leaders.
Yeah,
S-
especially
like,
two men.
Oh yeah. Like Heaven's Gate had Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, but while Bonnie was a leader, she wasn't as big of a leader as Marshall was. You know, they'll have co-leaders, but not like...
They're never equal.
Like, yeah, they're never equal. But these two were. Luc Jouret was a doctor, very charismatic. People loved him. And he studied a lot of homeopathy, which homeopathy is a medicine practice where it's like, oh, this kid has rabies, so I'm going to feed him the saliva of a rabid dog, and that'll make him better. Which, it's kind of like a weird form of inoculation that doesn't really work. You know, we know how, you know, that shit works now. But, yeah, he was very charismatic. People loved him. And his counterpart was Demambro, who he was ugly. He is not a good looking guy.
Damn.
But God, can he sell a cult. And so that was their dynamic. Jouret was very good at pulling people in, and Demambro was good at controlling them once they were in.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
had this little... Yeah, they were a tag team in it. And it worked really well because they had over 1,000 members at like their peak. So this was huge. And Demambro, this is a weird dude. He would stay up into the late nights, like as a kid, late nights with his mother knitting, where he quote picked up the rhythm of his mother.
What does that mean?
That's weird. I don't know. No one knows what that means. That's just what he said. And Demambro's always kind of been into cults. He first started something called the Rosy Cross, which is a form of Rosicrucianism. And Rosicrucianism is a small cult, like... Not all cults are bad. You know, like, Rosicrucianism is just like, hey, you want to learn how to astral project and maybe balance your checkbook? Come on in.
That sounds like fun.
You know, they just, you know... Yeah, they just teach you how to do shit, you know, it's a more spiritual kind of cult, like... you know, if you want a more spiritual kind of religion that's more in touch with nature, Rosicrucianism, it might be for you. And that's where Demambro started. But there was no real, like, power structure. And no one was having sex. And Demambro was just not interested. And he realized that when it came to all this esoteric shit, like, you could really just fit it all in with each other. And as long as you had a hook to sell it with, you could start a cult. And the hook they went for was the Knights Templar, which is a old-ass fucking organization of knights back during the Crusades. And essentially what they do is they'd guide rich people to Jerusalem, you know, to the Holy Land. And as well, they would hold on to their possessions, charging interest on them. So when they got back, they'd owe them a shit ton of money.
Here it comes. I was waiting for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Templar, very, very good people.
Yeah. Well, the Templars, actually, like, 200 years later, were like, we don't need to do all this combat shit. We can just be bankers and assholes. And, King Philip I, I believe, owed them a shit ton of money. And he was like, man, how do I wipe out my debt? I got it. I'll call them gay and burn them all alive. Oh. And that's what he did. That's what he did. Literally, he was like, the Knights Templar are having gay orgies. I'm going to light them all on fire now.
Oh my gosh.
They're sitting there counting, like, their coins. They just, it's like, y'all smell something?
Well, like, what they did, like... like, they had, like, this big trial where a bunch of, like, Templars went to, like, testify that it was wrong. And they put them all in these carts, and they just lit the carts on fire.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So the trial didn't even matter or anything. They just killed him.
Oh my.
But this burning alive, like, this is big for nerds. Like...
Hold up, I'm gonna go get rid of my debt real quick. I'll be back.
They're like Knights Templar, like Deus Vult, all that. That's huge for nerds. They're like, oh, that's so cool. The martyrdom, the chivalry. That's awesome. I like that. However, a lot of Templar symbolism has been ruined by white supremacists. They use a lot of their iconography. So, like, if you are into that shit, sometimes you'll get lumped in with white supremacists, which, not cool. Fuck you, white supremacists. Why you gotta ruin the Knights?
Everything.
That's what I'm saying. But, so that's the hook Demambro wanted to sell it with. This weird, like, martyrdom night thing, which is completely crazy. Meanwhile, Jouret was in a cult of his own, I believe called, I want to say the Golden Order, which was run by Arrigus, who I mentioned earlier. He was a Nazi shithead. Eventually he died, and Jouret wanted leadership, but his family was like, no, fuck you. You're not taking Pop's spot. They kicked him out of the cult. And at this time, he was good friends with Jouret, or Demambro. And Demambro, unsatisfied with his cult, Jouret unsatisfied with his. They, shook hands and said,
they Drake and Josh did it, dude.
Yeah, they're like, we will make our own cult. And this cult had levels, had tiers. First was just an observer cult. You could just watch what they do and be like, maybe I want to get into that. Nothing huge, nothing too committal. Pretty easy. The next level was called Viamanta Club. Members got a white cape, got to participate in a ceremony where I believe they stayed out at like midnight in, the like pole where people run around it with streamers?
Yeah.
They did that and ate eggs.
Swedish people were weird.
Yeah, these people are fucking weirdos. They did that, and to get into this club, it cost roughly $140 quarterly, which today is around $389.
Oh my gosh, to run around a pole and eat eggs?
Yeah.
I could do that for free.
Blows.
Well, there's more to it, but I'm going to explain the levels first, and then we'll get into all the fun shit they did.
Not sounding pretty good so far.
But, I mean, part of it was, like, the draw is, like, it's a secret society. No one can know about it. You get to dress up as knights and eat eggs.
Bro, I could do that in my house. I gotta go to, like, Party City and, like, Stop and Shop.
But you're doing it with the elite of society.
That's true.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's a secret society.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's not as cool when it's just yourself in a room.
Exactly. Then it's just depressing.
With a bunch of eggs and a pole.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Next is the Arcadian Club, which is a you get a red cloak this time.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, less racist, I like.
Yeah. And this was more spiritual, but the price went up, but no one has given information on like how much went up because it was a secret. But the price went up, and I'm trying to remember. I believe one of the highest members in this, the only money they allowed him was $150 every month for him and his wife and kids.
Cool.
That's a lot of money. And so the third level, you got the Arcadia Club, the Amanta Club. The third level is the International Knighthood Chivalrique Organization of the Solar Temple.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. And they got a black cape with a huge initiation fee.
Jesus Christ.
You get to be Batman. I mean, you gotta pay the money.
It's very cool. And so like, to get into this club, you had to be fucking loaded. Like that Swiss watchmaker I was talking to you about earlier with like the $3 million watches, he got promoted to that immediately.
Of course.
Yeah, like you do. So yeah, very expensive, very secretive. But unlike most cults that cut you off from the family, you're like, a lot of cults are like, you can't see your family, you can't see your friends, you only have to spend time with us. For the first level or two, they didn't do that. You were perfectly welcome to go see your family. Like, it's a secret society, If they started cutting people off, it wouldn't be so secret anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, that'd be suspicious.
Mm-hmm. And, but as you went farther, like, you gotta dedicate more time to this, because esoteric shit, it's a lot. You get into elementals and magic and chaos magic, and it's, it gets a little wild.
A little.
Yeah.
That's hella wild.
So, eventually, when they got enough members, Jouret, who claims to be getting his orders from Ascended Masters in Zurich, who were in a section of a Hollow Earth Agartha, told him the promised land is in Quebec.
Huh?
Yeah. And that there's going to be an apocalypse and only Quebec would be left standing. And yeah. And they didn't really have a compound in Quebec like a lot of cults do, but they more had like scattered clubhouses where people could keep their normal lives up and just, go for like a nice vacation type thing.
I see.
Vacation houses.
Yeah. And a lot of our information from this cult comes from a guy named Terry, who wrote a book, but it's only in French, so I couldn't read it. Unfortunate.
Gotta learn some French.
Yeah, I'll just learn French to learn about the silly night wizard cult. But one of the main claims about this cult being malicious is people are like, oh, they're stockpiling guns, which is a little true. They did have some weapons, but it wasn't like machine guns and RPGs and ready arsenal or anything. It was more just like a few silenced semi-automatic weapons. And this guy, Terry... No, I think it wasn't Terry, it was someone else. This Jure went up to him and was like, hey, you need to get us some silenced weapons. And he's like, okay. So he went and he asked a police officer, where can I get a silenced gun? It did not turn out well for them. Their clubhouses got raided.
I was about to say...
Surprise!
Did he think it was going to end any other way?
Well, what first happened is he went to his friend who was a police officer. He's like, I can't help you with this. And he's like, okay, whatever. And he goes out on the street and asks a guy who turns out to be a police informant who sets up a sting operation.
Oh my god, that is just bad luck.
Yeah, it's...
That is just horrible luck.
That's hella bad luck. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's the worst luck he could have possibly had.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll just go ask this cool guy in the street. You cop? No. All right. Good enough for me. We're gonna get these
one gun, please.
Silenced rifles. Right there in that box that says silenced rifles. Make sure you put the cuffs on when you get in. Okay.
Yes, sir, officer.
All right, what do I do now? Just slam it on him.
Yeah, that's just like, I don't know how you'd mess that up twice in a row. Like, why would you? But to be fair, these are like extremely rich people. Like, what the fuck do they know? About
it's just like
street shit.
Not even street shit. Interacting with humans.
Yeah, the underlings, as they call them. So once they got to like Canada, they started talking about something called transit. And transit was a theory that their souls were going to ascend and go to a planet orbiting the star Sirius. And a lot of people assumed this was metaphor. People were like, we're not all gonna die, we're just gonna, it's just a different form of consciousness, some weird meditation shit, whatever. We're not all gonna die. And, that didn't go so well. But, people were free to leave. But if you did leave, they'd either boil your belongings, burn your belongings, or just put them in a trash bag and toss them out. The boiling's weird. I feel like they're making some, like, possession soup.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Quick, get his watch.
Boil it!
Oh, we need that quartzy taste.
Soup.
Taste like
I gotta say,
Rolex.
John makes some pretty good soup. But not only that, these people had very weird traditions. So, like, you could not take someone else's seat. If you took someone else's seat, you're contaminating their energy with your butt.
Oh.
So if you get your butt fucking...
that argument would have been so good in college and, like, someone takes your unassigned seat and you're just like, that's my seat, you're taking my energy with your butt.
Your butt isn't worthy of my energy. And just...
Bastard.
Motherfucker.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, they did shit like that. They washed lettuce 7 times before consuming it. And they could only... Yeah, they just do random shit 7 times. Because 7 was a sacred number. They could also only walk on grass with bare feet.
Okay.
It'd be so easy to make a cult. You just make up random rules and you sell it to people in a way that makes them interested, and then boom, cult.
Yeah.
You're done.
That's the thing with all this esoteric shit is like, that's literally what Demambro thought. It's like, I can just mash all this shit together and people will buy it, you know?
That's terrifying, honestly.
No more eggplant. It's cursed.
Eggplant bad. You know that shit ain't a vegetable? Can't trust anyone.
Not even yourself.
Not even yourself. Other things they had to do is they had, so like, for the richest members, like, they believed in reincarnation.
Of course.
And they'd come up to people and be like, oh my god, you're the reincarnation of Old Testament King Melchizedek. That's you. And they'd pull like these really like specific, like random, like important figures from history. Because if you just walk up to someone and be like, oh my god, it's Abraham Lincoln, you know, that's like, you could have told anyone they're Abraham Lincoln, you know, that's not realistic. I'm Melchizedek, you know. And there's one, I think it was Demambro. He thought he was a reincarnation of Jesus.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously.
The classic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Say that and people flock to you.
Oh my god, it's him. It's Jesus Christ.
It's JC.
It's him in the flesh. Telling me to wash my lettuce 7 times.
I don't remember that in the Testament.
Yeah. Also, they had... So, beyond this ceremony where they did the weird maypole thing and ate eggs, once you were in the organization, they would have these rituals where they would spike, like, a drink, I think it was usually champagne or tea, with, like, LSD and acid.
What?
And they'd put you on a trip.
Oh my gosh.
And they would expose you to, like, a laser light show.
Oh no.
And Demambro, I guess, was like a trained magician because he would make objects appear, like the Holy Grail in Excalibur. Ooh. And it'd be like, poof, it appeared, and people on the trip were like, oh my god!
Yeah, that'd be a really good way to mess with people. That is horrible.
Yeah.
It's
like, oh my god, this guy is Jesus. And to get all this done, they actually had a special effects expert in the cult who was able to rig this all up for them.
Wow.
Yeah. And so a lot of cults involve sex, and that's what we're getting to now. All right. Jure, the looks of the organization, was like, oh man, my spiritual strength, it's going down. It's running low. I'm not going to be able to perform the ceremonies. And people are like, oh my god, what can we do? And he's like, let me fuck your wife.
Easy.
And they're like, yeah, sure, dude. Sure, Luke. Go at it.
What?
Yeah, he would just have sex with any female member of a cult to regain his strength. And meanwhile, this was happening. Demambro, what he would do is he'd break up couples and be like, cosmically, you guys ain't cutting it. But cosmically, Dave and Linda, that's a power couple, if I've ever seen one.
What?
Yeah.
So he would just, like, matchmake with the people that were already in couples?
Mm-hmm. He would break families apart, even if they had kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was a messed up guy. And Demambro was also having sex with a lot of the members of his cult. And one of his children was supposedly a immaculate conception. And I shit you not. So he got this lady pregnant, and she didn't know she was pregnant, but like during one of their ceremonies, he had like one of the lasers point at her vagina and was like, bam, she's pregnant now. What? And then she had his kid, and people believed it.
Wow.
Yeah. But Demambro and Jure, they were living. They were having sex all the time. They owned like 12 houses each. Like.
What?
Yeah.
So they were like just taking these people's money and doing whatever they wanted with it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, that's...
I think at its peak they were making around $500,000 a year.
What?
Yeah. That was at its peak. Like, they were going wild.
How do you make that much?
And, huh?
That's just how much they were making from just people joining and shit?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, like I said, this cult had over 1,000 members. They were popping off.
Was it like a monthly fee that you had to pay?
Quarterly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were dropping bank for this shit, damn.
Yeah, they were going hog wild.
I wonder what these people really felt like they were gaining from this.
They legitimately thought they were getting a spiritual, like, more spiritual connection. A lot of times, that Terry guy I mentioned earlier, like, he had problems with, like, his wife was having miscarriages and stuff like that. And he was just feeling so, like, disenfranchised, but the cult made him felt like he belonged somewhere and like he could do something with his life. Even though they just wanted him for his money, because he was fucking rich as hell. And that's, like, the kind of people cults bring in. Is the lost and confused and people don't know what they're doing with their life.
Like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang, so we're all susceptible to cults right now.
Yeah. And people started leaving when one of DeMambro's children, Elio, he was like snooping around and he opened a closet and found like the Holy Grail and Excalibur in there, just hanging out in bins.
Of course, they were just, you know,
Yeah.
They're being kept safe.
Yeah. They were just there, and he was like, Dad, the cult isn't real, is it? And he was like, no, son. He's like, okay, I'm leaving. I'm taking people with me. And he left, and yeah. And when this happened, DeMambro started getting more strict and more authoritarian. And, which just caused more people to leave, because he was freaking out. He was losing control.
Uh-huh.
And, when this happened, that big watch guy I was telling you, big watchman, he was like, yeah, I'm going to leave too. I don't like this anymore.
It kind of smells.
You leave? We tell everyone you were fucking Luke Jure, which is gay, and that's wrong in the 1980s.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, were they really?
No one knows.
Oh.
Yeah, so it could have been.
I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. This, like, a lot of people were just, like, realizing this wasn't the fun, weird cult, like, we signed up for. This is kind of getting freaky.
Yeah, this cult's kind of cringe.
Yeah. And that caused more members to leave. And more people started leaving until they went from $500,000 a year to only $89,000 a year.
Oof.
Ooh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Big hit. And so, let's see. And so, people were, like, you know, weirded out by, like, how they're tightening their grips. And so much so that the Canadian, like, chapter of the Order of the Solar Temple voted out Luke Jure as Canadian Grand Master.
Oh my god.
He got voted out of his own cult.
They just did it.
Yep. And they replaced him with the Minister of Finance of Quebec.
Ah! Perfect.
The perfect match. And this is when they started, like, buying the weapons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only fined $1,000.
Oh.
Wow. That was so easy for them to pay.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah, really. That was a poke.
Don't do it again. Bye.
If you order guns again, we'll be very upset.
You might get fined $1,001.
Oh, no. But, they were rumored also to be in line with a terrorist group called Q37, which is a Quebec terrorist group. And one of the books I was reading about this, called Cults Uncovered by Emily G. Thomas, I believe. Not a great book if you want to get real in depth with cult. It's a very surface level understanding. Apparently, there's like this terrorist group might not have even existed.
Oh.
Yeah.
If someone just made it up.
Yeah, very confusing. But, at this point, like, more people were leaving, They've been doing this for about 15 years. And DeMambro at this point was full of cancer and diabetes, and he couldn't, like, go to the bathroom anymore. He had to wear an adult diaper at all times.
Oof.
Yeah.
Just like me.
And about this time, Luc Jouret was like, all right, we're just going to catch all ourselves on fire.
Okay.
It's going to happen. And around this time, Waco happened.
Oh.
And, which if you don't know, that was also another cult scenario where a bunch of people got cut on fire. But that was more of the government's fault, not the cult's fault. I don't have time to get into that. But they were pissed at Waco because they stole their thunder. And they're like, you fucking idiots. Now we're going to be so unoriginal when we all burn ourselves alive.
Oh, they think they're better than us. We'll show them.
And so the kid, remember that person I told you who had the laser pointed at their vagina?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And like they had a kid? When it was born, they named it Emmanuel, and it was considered the cosmic Christ.
Ooh.
And the special effects guy that I also mentioned earlier, he also had a kid around the same time who he named Christopher Emmanuel. And DeMambro saw this and was like, oh, trying to one-up the cosmic Christ?
He's copying me.
Well, boom, your kid's the cosmic Antichrist.
Petty!
Yeah, it's so petty. So like 3 months after Christopher Emmanuel was born, the Antichrist, Jouret invites the special effects man and his wife to a dinner in a chalet, which is like a weird like farm cottage house thing in the mountains. When they entered, the husband was stabbed 50 times in the back. Oh. His wife was stabbed 14 times, and their 3-month-old infant child was stabbed through the heart with a wooden stake 6 times.
6?
Yeah.
I think one probably did the trick.
Yeah.
How? Oh my gosh, dude. Like, that's a lot of rage.
Yeah.
Aimed towards a child. A literal baby.
A baby who has done nothing.
Being that demented that you get so upset that not only do you label a child as the Antichrist,
yeah,
but you feel the need to not only kill it, but its entire family too.
Yeah. And they wrapped the body in a plastic bag, which marked it as a traitor to the cult. And they took their the cult leaders didn't do any of this, but they had like their cronies do it. And the cleanup crew, they stuffed their bodies behind a water heater and then burnt the whole chalet down with themselves inside.
What?
Yeah. And they were found with medallions burned into their flesh from the fire, marked TS, which stands for Templar Solaire. Yeah. These people were getting fucking loony.
They were dedicated. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they really believed in their cause.
Yeah, that's a lot of brainwashing. To get someone to, like, go not only commit murder for you, but then, like, kill themselves with them just to get rid of evidence. And for you to agree to do it, like, that's a lot of brainwashing.
And so by this time, that Terry guy I mentioned earlier, he had left the cult. He was like, this is stupid. I'm done. And he was going to meet Jouret and DeMambro at another chalet. And I think this one might have been in Switzerland, if I remember right. Or this was somewhere else in Quebec. But he got there, and DeMambro was waiting outside. And like, what? He's like, what are we doing? We going in? And DeMambro was like, I forgot my keys. And so he couldn't get in. And
he legitimately forgot his keys.
Yeah. And they called. Keep in mind, he's old as shit. He has to wear an adult diaper. He's fucking losing it.
Yeah, that's true.
And they call a locksmith, and while the locksmith's arriving, Jouret also arrives. And when the locksmith opens the door, Terry said he was overwhelmed by the smell of gasoline. And people, I think the mom bro was like, I just spilt an oil lamp in the basement. That's all it is. And Terry was like, no.
Yeah, that's a little too much for an oil lamp.
Yeah.
Do oil lamps even use gasoline? I don't think they do.
No. No.
He tried.
And, he got the hell out of there. And so he lived to tell the tale, and he wrote a book, all in French. And while that was happening, multiple other chalets were being burned down, with people inside them. And they were found, in rooms with full of empty champagne bottles. A lot of people believe that they had spiked champagne, so they just kind of went along with it. Either it's poisoned or just had hallucinogens in them. No one knows. Some were burned with plastic bags over their heads, symbolizing them as traitors, and some had bullets in their heads.
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah. And it just looked like, this was happening, like, in Switzerland and Canada, and I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And the documentary I watched, they were like, at first they tried to play it off as murder, but, like, they're like, yes, this man killed himself by shooting himself 9 times in the head.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That's possible.
That's how it works. Obviously.
The first day didn't do it. It's just a hard skull.
It's really easy.
Watch. See, nothing.
Takes about 9 shots to knock a man down.
So that's a BB gun.
Oh. Well, here's my real gun.
Dead.
Oh, damn it. That's the 5th police chief this week. They're all trying to prove you can shoot yourself in the head.
Why do they keep coming up with this theory?
This led to over 74 men, women, and children being burned alive. And all over the, fucking country. They did have some people stay alive to, tell the story and, stay alive, but they didn't really do a good job with it because, like, cobbling information for this together was a pain in the ass because it's all so scrambled. And it's so secretive, there's, like, not a lot of information to go off of because most people burned to death. But yeah, that's the cult.
That
fun times.
That got slowly more chaotic as time went on.
Yeah, it started out as a fun little rich people club and then ended in murder-suicide club.
So they just got old and decided, let's just burn alive.
Well,
like, just burn ourselves to death. Like, we're losing money and we're getting old, might as well die.
Oh yeah, like, this was always kind of written on the wall, though, because, like, when he started first mentioning transit way back when, but then Waco happened, he's like, they stole my thunder.
Oh, so it was most likely that his plan was to end this way. Either way.
Yeah, his plan was to always end this way.
Like, why do people do this? Like, what do you gain from that, other than years of money? But, like, you don't have to, you can get the money and not have to end that way. You don't have to kill people. Obviously, they were doing pretty well when they were just chill and taking people's money. I don't understand why, like, people can't just be happy with that.
I think they were like, people are going to tell people, and we're going to get arrested, and we're going to go to jail for the rest of our lives. So we're going to burn ourselves to death.
Get rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
They could have just killed themselves. They didn't have to involve other people, It's just, that whole, like, oh, now I have to bring my whole cult with me mentality is so, like, you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is definitely a way to go about ending a cult. I don't think it's the best.
So dramatic.
They honestly probably could have just went, it's been a good run. Handshake. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Sweden.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, yeah, honestly, they probably could have done that, too. Like, cult's over.
Go home, everybody.
We're canceling everyone's membership next quarter. Go back home.
Kind of need the money.
Sorry for taking all your clothes.
Yeah,
or at least not all your money.
Yeah. When we leave, though, still boil everyone's stuff.
I need a last taste of that soup.
Ooh. Richard soup, smelling pretty good. God, that
boots.
That is true. Like, we always hear about Waco here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and shit. Just because, like, you know, U.S. It's kind of important for like how to not handle things as like law enforcement. You know,
we have plenty of cases of that.
Yeah,
we're really good at it.
Yeah, like it is like kind of like important, but like that story is way more interesting than fucking Waco. I'm gonna be real. Like Waco.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like Waco's like it's fucked, but it's completely different reasons.
Yeah, I think Waco's more interesting in a want to see how the government fucked up kind of perspective.
Yeah,
but I think order
is just like it's more like raw, like just here is the timeline of events with just this cult, nothing really else. That's it.
Yeah,
like Waco, a bunch of people get involved between like the FBI, local law enforcement, the media. Like it's a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah,
but that is Solar Temple's fucked.
Yeah, not a fun time.
Jesus.
But hey, they got money and sex.
That's true. Everyone clap.
Couldn't have done that without a cult, you know? Have to get a cult to get all that.
Well, Damon, bro, was kind of an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, I was about to say.
More like, come on, bro.
You look... That was bad.
Thank you. I've been waiting to say that, because that's the first thing
To be honest, it was the same, but, you know, I have self-control. Yeah.
Let's see.
What does he look like?
Oh yeah, here he is. This is like he looks like taller. Frank from Danny. Fuck. This guy. Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of those. He's like classic, older, has money but is kind of creepy looking. Like dude. Yeah. Like, he eats well, but maybe a little too well.
I tried to look him up. Didn't get anything of him. This is what I got.
Oh, yeah. That's one of their ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks fun, I guess.
And Luke Jouret, he was handsome when he was young, but in the end, he looked like a 44-year-old dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Turned into a yeah.
So you walk into the dungeon. There's 3 gelatinous cubes. That's it. That's it. Fight them.
Yeah.
For my entertainment.
Give me your money.
Oh my god.
And suck my cock. Anyways. That's Order for Solar Tempo. Amanda, is your go.
Okay, so I didn't choose like a serial killer or anything. It's actually funny because we had one serial killer, one cult, and now we just have like isolated crime.
Oh boy!
So this took place in 2011 in Bethesda, Maryland. This was titled the Lululemon Murder.
Oh.
And I love talking about it just because I don't like Lululemon. So
great company.
So if you don't know what Lululemon is, it's an athletics store and they're super overpriced. Like that's their whole thing. Like a pair of leggings is anywhere from $90 to like $120. Like they're dummy expensive and it's only made out of like synthetic material. So personally, I don't think it's worth it. But they're like aimed towards women, but they do sell like accessories and men's clothing as well. So, in 2011, there's 2 workers. These are workers of Lululemon. They're in the store late. The next day, the manager goes to the store and finds the 2 co-workers. One being Jana. She was 30 years old. She was dead in, like, I think it was in a closet in the back. And then she finds Brittany, who was 29 years old. She finds her in the bathroom, and she's still alive, but she's, like, tied up and, like, out of it, obviously, from being in the store all night. So they call the police, and Brittany gives her account of what happened the night before. And according to Brittany, they're still, like, closing up. Oh, no, according to Brittany, they both leave the store, like, they're getting ready to close up. They leave the store. Brittany forgets her wallet in the store. And I think Jana was the one who had the keys, so they needed to both go back. So they go back to get her wallet, and according to Brittany, 2 masked men follow them in the store and attack them. Brittany says that the one dragged Jana into the closet, and the other one dragged her into the bathroom and attacked her, and according to her, sexually assaulted her. She had, like, a cut in her jeans near her, like, her crotch.
Yeah.
The police take this information, they go, like, on a manhunt. Like, the whole, like, this store was in a neighborhood, it was, like, in a plaza, and the whole, like, neighborhood and plaza freak out because they think there's 2 masked men, like, running around and killing people. They put out, like, $150,000 reward for these men. But then, like, the police kind of start to see inconsistencies with Brittany's story. Like, at one point, Jana's car was parked right in front of the Lululemon store, and at one point, Brittany leaves the store, gets in Jana's car, and leaves, and then comes back.
What the hell?
And according to Brittany, she says one of the men who came in the store tells her to go in the car, drive it away, and then come back, or else he'll kill her. Which, to me, makes no sense, because as soon as you're in a car, you're gonna drive away.
Just drive away!
They find Brittany's blood in, like, Jana's car, so they know it was her in there. And they also find, at the, like, crime scene, there's only 2 footprints. It's Brittany's footprints and a pair of 14 men's sneakers, like, footprints in the blood. So they, like, start seeing all these inconsistencies in her story. They don't understand why she drove the car 3 blocks away and then came back. So it turns out that Brittany, what really happened, she ends up confessing to all of this, I think, at one point. So Brittany did leave her wallet. Oh, no. So Brittany and Jana were closing up the store. Jana noticed that Brittany had a pair of pants in her bag that, like, she hadn't bought. They still had a tag on them. So she confronts Brittany, and she's like, basically, like, are you trying to steal? And Brittany's like, yeah. she basically just catches her trying to steal. And Jana tells Brittany, like, I'm going to tell the manager tomorrow. And that's that. And Brittany, like, begs her not to tell. She's like, please, no, like, I need this job and all this stuff. So they leave. Brittany does the whole, hey, I left my wallet in the store thing. They go back in, and Brittany kills Jana.
What the fuck?
And so, like, you know, typically you would have think, like, oh, okay, whatever, like, it would have been really quick. She would have just killed her because she just didn't want to get caught for stealing his pants. Jana had on her body 330 stab wounds.
What?
They mention that there was at least 8 different weapons used. I couldn't find all 8. I found a rope she used to choke her. She used a merchandise display rod to beat her head in. The last, I think, about 30 wounds were with a knife. And at some point, there was also hammer marks. They said, the judge said, or one of the doctors or something that examined Brittany, there was no evidence of any sexual assault other than her like, clothes being cut. All of the wounds she had on were superficial, so there was no, like, actual deep stabs or anything. Like, she wasn't mutilated. But she did have a lot of defensive wounds on her. I was confused. It says 107 defensive wounds, but I don't know if that meant that was on Brittany or if Jana also suffered from wounds of, like, trying to fight her off. But they said that, like, oh, because just imagine the amount of, like, this is what drives me crazy about this case, is because you're a 29-year-old woman working in a Lululemon, right? you have, I don't know, like, there's, like, very little about Brittany's past other than that she did steal before. Like, when she was known to steal things from people and from places that she worked. Like, she literally, I think I read something that said she stole a weave from a hairdresser. Like, she went, got her hair done, and then was like, oops, sorry, my wallet must have gotten stolen. I don't have my wallet. And then they let her leave with the weave.
Oh my god.
And she just got away with stealing that. But, so, it's just weird because this was personal. Like, this was a very personal crime. This something that took, like, they said it probably took about 20 minutes for, like, this whole thing to happen. And what actually, like, helped confirm the case was that the store was connected. I think it was, like, they shared a wall or something with an iPhone store, like an Apple store, and the workers were there the night that she, like, committed this murder, and they said they heard Jana screaming for help, but they didn't do anything. Like, they literally heard her scream, like, something like, oh, help me, like, she's, like, I'm dying or something, and they didn't call the police for some reason. I don't ever understand why they didn't, like, call the police when they literally heard her get murdered, but, yeah, and then she got arrested because they figured it out pretty easily. And she got, I don't know what she got. I think she got sentenced to life because I know I don't know if she felt bad about it or what. She tried to plead with the judge and say, like, oh, for my family's sake, don't give me, like, life in prison. Give me parole or something. And he was like, what about Jana's family? They don't get their daughter back. And she was like, oop. And I'm pretty sure she got life, but
I guess that's fair.
Like, yeah. So, they, like, I know I read some things with, like, the jurors, and it was, like, a really disturbing case because they showed pictures of, like, Jana and her body, and they said it was, like, really bad. Like, they couldn't even, like, some of the jurors couldn't even look.
Oh my god.
Over a pair of overpriced leggings.
Yeah. That sounds like it was, like, built up, though. Like, pent up rage.
It has to be. To be able to do that to somebody. But why? So, like, my whole thing is, so Brittany was African-American and Jana was white. And to me, this was, like, 2011. You know, you're working at this place that sells these crazy priced leggings. And their primary audience and primary selling point is rich, older, like, white women, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta have money to shop at that store. And so, to me, I wonder sometimes, like, is this a product of our environment, and this is just someone who was so desperately trying to fit into a world that she wanted to be accepted into, and felt the need that, like, she had to go through these steps, and that, like, Jana was in her way? Or did she just snap for some unknown reason and commit this crazy murder?
It sounds like she would have done, I guess, anything to cover her image.
Yeah. I mean, 330 wounds on this woman's body. On top of her choking her.
That's so excessive.
It's really excessive.
You could kill someone in one stab.
Yeah.
Or a bonk.
And she was it's interesting because she was so desperate to cover it up that she then, like, kind of beat herself up and then laid herself in the bathroom and stayed there overnight. And the police said she acted the part. Like, at one point, the police officer, like, tried to help her up or something, and he touched her and she flinched.
Oh.
So, like, the story, like, they really did believe her at first. They really did think, like, this is a tragic case of, like, this random break-in and, like, murder.
You're like, yeah, this adds up. Like, God.
But that's nice and short and quick, the Lululemon case. That one gets me, just because I feel personally like it's a product of capitalism.
That's a lot. Like, there's so much there that, like, just isn't answered at all.
Yeah. And yeah, because she doesn't really speak on it, any of it either. Like, there's no... I couldn't find anything of her talking about it earlier.
Yeah, because, like... I've hated, like, a boss. And I've been annoyed with, like, coworkers. What the fuck did Jana do to, like, push you over the edge? Was it just that? Was it just the job?
I wonder if it was just the threatening to turn her in for stealing. I wonder if it was, like, was it Jana? Because they did say, like, Jana's parents mentioned that, like, Brittany wasn't a friend. Like, Jana went out a lot with friends and mentioned a lot of people, but Brittany was never mentioned.
Oh, she was never... Okay.
So, it could have been, like, she might have felt like she wasn't really part of, like, the clique. Because from what I understand, Lululemon, like, it's kind of like a clique, like, when you work there. Like, most jobs are, like, a certain...
Yeah.
Like, you get into a new job and there's already, like, friend groups formed and stuff like that. So I'm sure it was probably like that, where, like, not a lot of people knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So...
That's just
a weird...
I can't imagine being so angry I'd ever do that to someone.
Yeah, and I don't know what she got, because I don't know what sentence she got, because I know, like, it wasn't premeditated from what I understand. But, so that just means it was a fit of just instant rage.
Just absolute anger.
But that's interesting because, like, the one that Lewis talked about, like, he had a record of crime. She had nothing. It was just snap.
Mm-hmm. Like, people will do the craziest shit over nothing.
That's what's, like, scary. It's, like, sometimes when people look into these types of things, it's like you have to, like, look at yourself and be like, am I capable of this?
Yeah,
is everybody capable of this?
I know I'm definitely capable of, like, stabbing someone 312 times. I played Beat Saber. That's an easy map on comparison. That's nothing.
I just can't I don't know. I just can't imagine being like, all right, this person called me on my shit. Time to beat him 300 plus times.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
there would have to be some like, some kind of pressure otherwise. Immense pressure otherwise, or else you wouldn't feel a need to do that.
Oh, yeah. There's something else going on, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to be so emotionally distraught. I'd have to feel the opposite of what I feel every day. Like, that's just bad. I don't know what the fuck you gotta, like, feel to do that. Like, the closest I've come is, like, I fucking strangled someone to stop throwing papers at me. And that was for, like, 2 seconds. And then I was, like, over it because I was like, I don't want to kill someone. I was like, you motherfucker, and then I let him go.
Yeah.
Like, do you just keep going?
You just don't stop.
How angry. Like, you gotta be in a corner.
But people's brains are just wired differently. You know, some people can handle stress more than others. So I wonder if that has a thing to do with it. Like, having such a low threshold of stress or pressure.
Yeah. For that to be the next logical step.
Uh-huh.
Like, there's gotta be something going on. Oh. That was a true crime episode. Woo!
Yeah.
This is your PSA that if you're feeling immense loads of pressure, go seek help.
Yeah, get help. Talk to someone. Even if it's like a friend or just a family member, you know, just...
Yeah.
Or if you notice so...
Also, don't join a cult.
Yeah, don't do that either.
Yeah.
Or at least do research on the cult before you join.
I don't know.
I'm gonna start a cult. It's gonna be a good one, though.
I don't know.
You pay me, and I bake you cookies.
I've seen what you built in Minecraft. You're kind of crazy.
What do you mean? Every time I play Minecraft, I make a cafe and I feed people for free.
Yeah, and then I go down and it's a factory. It scares me.
But yeah, that's the episode. Thanks for Amanda. Thanks for sharing your story. Lewis, thanks for sharing your story.
No, yeah, Sam. Thank you for sharing your story.
It's now you guys know all about fun night cult.
Yeah,
where nothing ever went wrong.
And now we also know about very sad old black guy from the 40s murdering people, and Lululemon socks.
Lululemon socks? Facts.
Lululemon's garbage.
He's spitting.
86% fucking nylon? Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
It's
garbage.
It's all synthetic. You can buy synthetic at Walmart. It's fine.
Oh my god.
It'll save you $100 too.
3 episodes later. This is sponsored by Lululemon. Go grab their fucking puff angel fart fucking synthetic sweatpants or whatever, dude. They're great.
Don't contact me. I'm a sellout.
Lululemon's garbage.
0 out of 10. I don't like the way their pants look on my butt. Anyway, where can the people find y'all if you want them to find you?
I like not being found.
All right, good enough.
Yeah, Amanda hides in a forest. I'll send everyone the GPS coordinates if you just DM me on Twitter at IamXOllieX with 2 I's and Ollie. You can also watch my stream where I sit in a tree outside of the small shack Amanda sits at, just waiting with a rifle.
I've been stuck here for days.
She has tunnels dug everywhere. I can't keep track of her. But my stream is X_Ollie_X. I barely stream. I'm planning to do stuff soon with streaming.
Yeah. It's about fucking time.
I might make content. Let's go.
Let's go.
It also could just be garbage of me sitting there looking at Twitter. I don't know. But yeah. There's also the Con Save. It's great. Tabletop stream. Do every couple weeks. I play in the Cyberpunk games. We have more games like D&D and occasional one-offs, and also doing stuff with people at another channel called High Shelf Gaming. You should check them out too. Great. It's all good. That's my stuff though. Sam?
All right. You can find me at FaceGuy, FaSeGuy on Twitter and YouTube. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Don't join a cult.
Join my cult. Bye-bye.